All right, here's a great rational equation where I need to solve for a value of x that would make this statement true. And keep that in mind. When you're solving for x, what you're looking for is the number that you can plug in for x here that'll make this side equal to that side. Okay, to solve any rational equations, I like to use the I hate fractions rule, which says all I need to do is find a common denominator between all of the denominators. So 1x and x squared. So the lowest common denominator here will be x squared. So I'm going to take the 1 and multiply it by x squared, plus I'm going to take the 1 over x and multiply it by x squared, and I'm going to take the 72 over x squared and I'll multiply it by x squared. Notice that this part here is the only thing that I've changed, and if you multiply every term by the same thing in an equation, it doesn't change the equality of it. Okay, so once I've done that, now I just look and see what I have left over. X squared times 1 would be x squared. X squared times 1 divided by x would just be an x. X squared times 72 over x squared, the two x squareds, that's a factor of 1, so they cancel, is equal to 72. Alright, now I take a look at see what kind of equation I have. Looks like it's a quadratic, and so I'm going to bring everything to one side, and then once they're on one side, see if I can factor that. It looks like a nice one to factor. So it would be x and x, probably a plus 9 and a minus 8. May want to check that. X squared plus 9 minus 8, yeah, that gives me plus 1, and minus 72. So using the zero property, I would come up with x is 8 or x is equal to minus 9. Okay, at this point I'm feeling pretty good. I was able to use the I hate fractions rule successfully, came out with a quadratic kind of an equation, brought it all over to one side, used the zero property, came up with my answers. Now, I would often go and check to see if my answers are correct. Typically, I can plug these numbers in for x, and if I don't get a 0 on the bottom, I know more than likely I'm correct. But it's not a bad idea to check. I'll just check one of them. So it'd be 1 plus 1 over, let's say 8, use a positive 1, is equal to 72 over 8 squared, or 64. So 1 plus 1/8, that would be 1 and an eighth. And I'm wondering if that's the same thing as 72 over 64. Well, I could rewrite this. This would be 1 and 8 over 64s, if I change that to an improper fraction, or to a mixed number. Then if I simplify 8 over 64, sure enough, that gives me 1 and 1/8. So, not sure up there, but I am sure that 8 works. And you could plug the 9 in to make sure it checks too. Okay, hopefully that helps you out in solving that rational equation.